Hey, everybody. Okay, I'm gonna tell a story. This is my first time telling a story. Well, let me reintroduce myself a little further than what Denise did. I am a actor, comedian. Uh, some of y'all may have seen me in some stuff. I'm almost certain somebody in here has seen me in something. Um, uh, what I'm gonna talk about though is a book that I wrote, and the book is called "Power Was My Mentor." And the Power was my mentor. How America's favorite TV dad showed me the big picture. Now, who was? You felt that edit? Just jump in there real quick. Who was America's favorite TV dad? Yes, indeed. Bill Cosby mentored. Bill Cosby mentored me during a time when I wasn't new to stand up, but I wasn't fully wet in stand up. So basically, my story, and I can go on, but I only got 15 minutes, so I'm going to be condensing a lot. Uh, my story is about perseverance. It's about trust. It's about uh, uh, being in the right place at the right time, uh, realizing that it's not what you know, it's what? It's who you know, and uh, and all the trials and tribulations that can happen within that context. Um, I will start the story like this. I started doing stand up when I was in college. I'm from New York City. I went to college in Montgomery, Alabama, to Alabama State University. Culture shock, yes. Um, and I got a break from a club owner. I wanted to do stand up. And a comedy club opened in Montgomery, Alabama, the Punchline Comedy Club. This is back in 1985. And I saw the ad in the paper. It jumped out like a cartoon. You know, you watch your cartoons, and the ad just superimposes itself and jumps out. That's the way this one little tiny ad jumped out. It just came. All the other ads in the paper, bow, that one job. New comedy club open, looking for staff. Went to the comedy club, lied about working at a club, at a restaurant, saying because it was a waiter's job. I named a bunch of clubs in New York that I knew were closed, restaurants in New York I knew were closed, that they wouldn't be able to track. And they gave me a shot. Fired me within 10 minutes because I never waited on tables in my life. I spilled the first drinks. Club owner came over to me and said, Garfield, have you ever done this before, really? And I was like, no. He's like, all right, put the tray down. But he liked me, and he put me behind the bar, helping the bartender. I was the bar back. And from there, they started a comedy night. I went up on the amateur night, and they said, whoever wins this amateur night will be the house MC, and you get to open up for all the comedians that come through here from that point on. I won the amateur contest. They made me the house MC, and I got to work with tons of them. I met Steve Harvey, Tim Allen, uh, 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 Seinfeld, J. Anthony Brown, too many to name. With me just first starting out, and I became friends with them. Matter of fact, Steve Harvey slept on my couch. A few years later, when he was doing Showtime at the Apollo. Um, and I put Steve Harvey in his very first commercial for a Burger King commercial. This is years later, and this is how, hopefully within the context of the story, as I talk, you'll see how from little humble beginning, the shot working with Cosby got me to a position to where I'm putting Steve Harvey in a commercial. Not only Steve Harvey, but Bernie Mac and Jancy Brown, respectively, in their own commercials because I got a job at an advertising agency. Okay, so here we go. I was watching David Letterman one night, and Cosby was the guest on the show. Cosby was talking about coming back to doing another sitcom, and I perked up. I'm like, if Cosby's doing another sitcom, he's going to be recording at the same studio that he did the original Cosby Show at. And I live in Manhattan, so that's right across the bridge into Queens, literally right on the other side of the bridge. And I'm like, I'm going there and I'm going to investigate and see what's going on because I want to get the warm-up job. The warm-up comedian is the guy who's in the audience with the folks, and he's keeping the audience awake because because the tapings go long, and people get tired and all that. So we're familiar with the script, the storyline, and whatever else is funny that's going on. We just keep everybody up and energized. So that job is key. And plus, we all as comedians, we knew that if you get that job as a warm up and you're in that arena, you're in that space, there's a good chance you might get a shot on being on the episode. Because Cosby likes to upgrade folks if he sees that they're worthy of it. So I'm like, I need to get in. Now, the reason why I feel confident going in to investigate that is because I got a job doing the warm ups for Malcolm Jamal Warner's spinoff. I forgot what it was called, but I got to do a few of those warm ups. So when I walked in there, that next day after seeing Cosby on Letterman, I walked in and said, I'm interested in the warm up job. Well, have you done this before? Oh, yeah, well, I worked on Malcolm's show. Oh, really? I said, yes. And they say, okay, cool. They said, oh, it was fortunate to me that the person who was doing the warm up was a old buddy of Cosby's. And I guess he begged Cosby to give him a shot to do the warm ups or whatever. Old dude. And Cosby probably got tired of taking this guy's calls and said, let me just let him bury himself. Let him go out there and do it and see whatever happens. Knowing the guy was going to fail. And the guy was failing. So when I walked in, I was like a saving grace. It was like, oh my God, when can you start? And I was like, oh shit, I can start now. And they said, good, because this guy that we got here now, he's terrible, oh my God. And it was just like that. I went in, said, listen, my name is Garfield. I won't put my last name. My name is Art Garfield, but I won't put my last name. And they said, and next thing you know, I was coming back that week to work on the show as the warm-up comedian. It bugged me the hell out how quickly it happened. Now, let's move forward. Now I'm doing the warm-ups. They warned me. They said, do not talk to the cast. Do not address Mr. Cosby. You just hang out in the stands, deal with the audience, you and the DJ. Okay? All right, cool. Now I was fine with it. I was happy to be there. So now I'm doing the warm-ups. They're introducing the cast. One of the cast members, a brother named Doug E. Doug, a comedian. That's one of my buddies. I didn't know he was on the show. And they said, Dougie Doug. Dougie Doug came out clapping, hey, right there. And I was like, oh, shit. I am not going to be in these stands for long. Because once Doug knows that I'm in these up here doing his warm-ups, I'm going to be hanging out with the rest of them in the back in the dressing rooms. Just like that, just like happened. And when he saw me up there joking and goofing around, in between takes, he said, Garfield. Went down there to him. He said, yo, what's up about that? We did all that black thing. And next thing you know, I was hanging out in the dressing rooms. Just like that. Now, the second, and I was heating up the audience. I was getting my laughs. The second taping, it was the following week, I'm getting my thing on. And Cosby is hearing me getting my jokes off. Now, there's not a comedian in the world who, and they're in the audience, and they're watching another comedian getting big laughs from the audience, they're going to want to get a piece of those laughs. So Cosby goes, Garfield! Now, I freeze. I got the microphone in my hand. I freeze. I go, ladies and gentlemen, did Mr. Cosby just say my name? They said, yes, he did. Sir, throw me the mic. Boom, the mic. He went like this, act like he was going to drop it. He said, I thought you were about to pay for that, didn't you, right? And did like 10 or 15 minutes off the cuff. I'm talking about hilarity. The man is funny. He's the funniest person on the planet. Like on off stage, killer. He's that dude. He's that funny friend. You know that funny friend you got that you wish would do comedy? Yo, you should do comedy? He's that guy. I'm talking about tears funny. So anyway, so now I'm watching him do his thing, kill. He finishes, he goes, Garfield, yes sir. Take the mic back. Threw the mic back to me. I went like this, act like I was gonna drop it. All right, we got a little laugh, we were cool. Now I did a joke in between all that, talking about the setting was a street scene. You got a train station, you got a couple of, look just like, almost like this. You got a train station, you got a flower shop, you got a little delicatessen, and over there you got a couple of houses. That's the set. And the train station, in front of the train station, is the newspaper stand. So one of the jokes that I would do was, because I would use everything on the set as my fodder for comedy, was there was a black guy in front of the newspaper stand. And in New York City, if you're from New York City, been in New York City, you know there are no black people in front of newspaper stands running them. It's always somebody talks like this, put that Jut magazine down. You know, it's that guy. And so I made that joke and, went off like that. So Apparently, that got under Cosby's skin a little bit. He called me into his dressing room in between tapings. Next thing you know, stage manager goes, Garfield, Miss Cosby wants to see you in his dressing room. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I didn't curse. I don't remember cursing. Did I curse? Because, I'm not, nightclub comic, we curse. Did I curse? It slipped. Didn't you notice it? Went to his dressing room. Now I'm sitting there in the dressing room with Mr. Cosby. So, of course, for like the first 5, 7, 8 minutes, I ain't hear nothing he said. I'm sitting there looking at him going, it's Bill motherfucking Cosby. He's right here, like right here. This is Bill Cosby. This is Bill. Bill. Still talking to me, too. It's just crazy. He's still talking. He's just talking to me. I don't hear nothing. He's like, wah, 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 right? So then once I shook out of it, and it's like, oh, yeah, he was like, listen, you do what you, where's Denise? Denise, this may go a little bit long. Is that a problem? Okay, this is good. This is good. This is a lot. I just touched the surface. This is a good story. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, everybody. So, uh, he goes, listen, I know you are in the clubs at night. Oh, no. He said, the reason why I called you in here is because of the joke you do. You do, with the newspaper stand. He goes, why do you think the people are laughing? Now, what I do know about Cosby is that if you don't know the answer, don't try to answer. You just say you don't know. Because you're digging yourself into a hole if you try to answer it and it's all ignorant and stupid. So I thought about it for a second. I was like, I don't know what this man wants to hear from me. I said, but, I opt to say I don't know. He goes, okay, I'll make it easy for you. Why do you think the black people are laughing? And I said, okay, that's easy because I'm black and I get it. All right, yeah. Well, probably because of the funny voice. He goes, yeah, okay, I'll buy that. Why do you think the white people are laughing? I don't know. He goes, the white people are laughing because you're making fun of a people that they can't fuck with. They're coming here from a third world country with an as good or a better education than the white folks already here. They're coming in becoming doctors, nurses, business owners, hotel owners, dry cleaners, all the jobs that black people who are here, been here, aren't taking. I was like, whoa, that's kind of deep. He goes, now I say that to say that if you're gonna talk about a people, a person, a thing, a culture, whatever, tell the truth about them first. Because once you tell the truth about them, you can goof on them all you want. It's like self-deprecating humor. Like when a big person starts talking about, how big they are and all the fat jokes, so nobody else can come at them with the fat jokes. Then they can just really just goof the fatness all they want after that, because now it's set up and it becomes funny to not only to them but to the audience as well. Everybody's comfortable now because you told the truth. All right, fine. So he goes, now listen, I know you're in the clubs at night. I don't know what you're doing during the day, but I welcome you to come here and watch what we do. And if I were you, I would take advantage of this. I remember this burned clearly in my head, all these words, verbatim. He said, if I was you, I would take advantage of it because you would probably never get the opportunity to see a show being done by people who are successful at it. Steven Spielberg is not going to invite some little black kid to come watch what he does, but you're more than welcome to come and watch what we do. And I started coming in every day after that, not just on Thursdays, on taping day, every day. And the first day I was there, the person who hired me, white producer, everybody's white. Let me just say, white producer. They're all white. When she saw me there in the writers' meeting with the whole cast and production, the whole crew, I'm sitting in there. I'm not supposed to be there, but I'm there. Afterwards, she goes, "Oh, why were you at the writers' meeting, the read-through?" I said, "Well, Mr. Cosby, invited me." Oh, okay. The next taping, which was that week, they fired me. Just like that. And I'm like, whoa, they made up some goofy, said I said something anti-Semitic, and I didn't. I'm gonna tell you what I said. I was goofing on people coming into the audience, going to sit down. One person came in with a cast on their arm. I was like, wow, what happened to you? Car accident. Oh, okay, wow, man, you all right? Cool, yeah. Then another person came in with a yarmulke on. It was white, but it was a little bit bigger than your normal yarmulke, all right? And it covered like a nice top part of their head, and it was white, right? I said, oh my God, what happened to you? Was you in the car with that person, right? And they got a laugh. Everybody got the joke. It looked like a bandage on his head, right? So that was the anti-Semitic thing that I said that they used to get rid of me. They brought me into the office. They had the director, they had the showrunner, the executive producer, and the supervising producer, the woman who hired me, all in the same room and telling me why I was being fired. And of course, I felt this was kind of unprecedented and kind of huge to have these important people in this room to tell me that I was no longer needed. I'm like, wow, they really put this little machine together quick and tight. That's undeniable. I can't get around what just happened right here with these three power people here firing little old me. Went home. I had a gig in Michigan somewhere that Friday. I'm bugging out because I'm like, damn, I was that close. I was in there. I was that fucking close, and it's gone just like that. Why? I called his assistant. I became that cool, that quick. I called his assistant, had her number. I said, hey, did Mr. Cosby say anything about me to you yesterday or earlier today? She said, no. He said, nothing. I said, nothing? Because Cosby likes to gossip. You know, he'll say little goofy stuff, little, hey, I heard that so-and-so, and then walk away and let us all bug out about it. She said, nothing. I said, nothing? She said, nothing. I'm like, wow, he doesn't even know that they fired. I'm coming back in on Monday. They fired me. Now he got to fire me. And on Monday, now I wasn't able to walk in like I usually can. Now I have to stop at security and they bring somebody from the back to come and escort me in. All right, that's cool. Called the assistant. She came and got me, walked me not back to the back of the dressing rooms, right to the writers' meeting. Walked me in there. Garfield, you good? Yep. Went there, sat down, and I sat way in the back. The room was thick with people. The whole cast at the conference table, and then the producers and the wardrobe and everybody who needed to be there. I'm sitting in the back. Usually I was sitting kind of close so I can watch everything. Now I'm sitting in the back trying to be Mr. Inconspicuous because I was fired. Cosby comes in. He always comes in a little later than everybody else, but not late. But he's like the last person in the room pretty much. He does a joke, just something that happened on the way in or whatever, and literally rips the room apart with one liner, one quick joke. Hey everybody, this is that, bow, and everybody just falling out. So he does that, right? The very next thing he says after that is, has anybody seen Garfield? Now I'm in my mind, I'm going, whoo, whoo, whoo. Why would he say that? Of all the people, why would he say that? He knew. He knew they fired me. And he loved the idea that I showed them anyway. He said, oh, and one of the producers who did not know I was fired said, oh yeah, he's right there. I was like, right here, sir. He said, oh, good. Give Garfield something to read in this week's script. The person who fired me was sitting like right to my left. Now here's another little tidbit to that, her being in the room as well. The new warm-up comedian was in the lobby area. So when I came in the reception area, the new warm-up comedian was there. I didn't know he was going to be the new warm-up, but I knew him. His name was Godfrey. You ever heard of a comedian named Godfrey? He's on Vlad a whole lot. Very funny guy. Nice guy too. So Godfrey's there. Now, yo, G, what's up, man? He said, what's Garfield? What's happening, man? I'm like, what you doing? Are you on the show this week? Because it's not uncommon for a comedian to have a little guest spot. And he's like, nah, I don't know why I'm here. And I'm like, how you on the set of Cosby's sitcom and you don't know why you're here? I stopped talking to him after that. I'm like, oh, this is some bullshit. I'm not gonna hear nothing but bullshit now. So I stopped talking to him. So now I'm in the writers' meeting. Cosby does that whole thing with Garfield bringing to the table, and I'm looking at the lady who fired me, and her mouth opens up like this. Then Godfrey was with her. There's no reason for Godfrey to be at the writers' meeting. Like I was told, I wasn't invited to the writers' meeting, but she was trying to introduce him as the new warm-up during that meeting, so everything would be nice and smooth. Godfrey, Garfield, we're both black. They won't know the goddamn difference, right? I think that's what it was. So that blew by. Now I'm at the table sitting with the cast. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm reading a role for this week's episode. I ain't asked for none of this. Did the read-through, was funny. Then it was over and we all left. I went to the sound stage and watched them rehearse. But I was like, it happened too quick, too easy. It's not gonna last. I sat down with the writers. I seen how they write a character out. It's nothing to do that. Got a call about 11:30, 11:45 that night. Stage manager called me and said, "Hey, Garfield, what's happening, man? Listen, I got some bad news." I said, "I know. I'm not on the show." Yeah, yeah. They went a different direction. All right. I'm like, no problem, man. I would. It happened too quick. I gotta get off. Got 2 minutes. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. I have another half an hour of story. So, all right. So I'll wrap it up. So, uh, so I was fired. I continued to be fired. I was never rehired as the warm up. Godfrey was the warm up. But what I did was I went to the new school downtown Manhattan and took a sitcom writing class and didn't tell anybody. And as my subject, it was a Cosby episode because I had access to the scripts. I knew the characters and everything. And I wrote that script. 3 months later, I'm on the set with Cosby. And mind you, I kept coming in every day after that. 3 months, out straight. I would still come in like I worked there. And I pitched my episode I did to Cosby. He loved it. Got up and walked away. I got up and walked away from him. He goes, "Where you going?" I said, "You already know the story." Because he stopped me and finished my story. I got up and walked away. He's like, "What are you doing?" I go, "You already know the story. I don't need to stick around." He goes, "No, come over here. You stupid. Come over here." He goes, "I know it because it's good. Is it done?" I said, "No, it's not done." I said, "Yes, it is done," but it wasn't done. And he goes, "Bring it in tomorrow and pitch it to the showrunner." I worked all night long. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, finishing that script. I got in at 12 o'clock instead of 9 o'clock, like everybody else. And when I got there, I'm sitting there in the stands chilling. The stage manager comes over to me and goes, "Garfield, where you been?" Hey, Mr. Cosby's looking for you. I'm like, "What? What for?" He goes, "Some script you wrote?" I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Where's he at? Other side of the sound stage. One over there, saw him. He's like, "Come here, come here, come here." He goes, "You got your script?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Bring it in and get your money." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "You pitched my script?" He goes, "Bring it in and get your money." They wound up producing my episode. My episode wound up being the highest rated episode of that season. During the taping of that episode, standing ovations uh, from the audience. Cosby made me come out to the sound stage, come onto the stage, and said, "And this is the man who wrote this episode." And he gave me a round of applause. And I was like, "Whoa!" Had my mom there, my aunt, some friends. It was fantastic. And after that, he walked over next to me and he goes, "Look at that. They threw you away, and look what you gave them." He goes, "Don't worry about nothing. It's like Jackie Robinson had Pee Wee Reese. You got me. Keep bringing me the good stuff." This story goes on and on, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't want to keep everything going. But you can. Everything's in the book. It's called "Power Was My Mentor." It's on Amazon. "Power Was My Mentor." It's on Amazon. "Power Was My Mentor." It's where? On Amazon. My name is Art Garfield. I wish I had more time. Wow. Maybe I'll come in next time and finish the story.